Wow. Hey, God of mercy. You people have heard what he said, right? Okuna anugo n'ihe o kwuru. O kwugokwu ya o. Ndị Igbo okuna anugokwu ya, o kwugokwu ya. You can't stop anybody from living on this earth because you are not the one that brought the person. Look at somebody that said he's a pastor, and from your mouth you are saying that Igbo people are cursed. You are placing a curse on your head and your generation. You are placing a curse on your head and your generation. That is the meaning. All right? Because you cannot place a curse on somebody who did not provoke you. Somebody who did not cause any harm on you. Somebody who did not look for trouble from you. An innocent tribe that is hustling on their own, doing their legitimate businesses. You know? Doing their legitimate businesses, expanding themselves, you know, improving their lives, both home and abroad. And now you are envious of them. And now you are crying. You are not happy because of their progress. Their successes is what is intimidating you. You know? Unapologetically proud to be an Igbo lady, guys. You know, even in my next world, I am going to be Igbo lady as well. So who no like it, go buy your head for one transformer. Okay? So my people, today's episode, we are going to reply one fake pastor. One fake pastor. One fake pastor. Fake, oh. You know everything have fake in this world. Everything has fake ones in this world. If you want to buy shoe, there are original shoes, there are fake shoes. You want to buy clothes, there are fake and original clothes. So also pastors, there are fake and original pastors. So we are going to reply and address this pastor. He says he's a fake pastor. He says he's a pastor. But this is pastorship. Jail. So I don't think that he is really spreading the word of God on this message we are going to listen. All right? He said something about Igbo people, where he said that Igbo people are the problem of Nigeria. So my people, I'm going to allow you guys also to check this thing, think inside the box, all right, and think out of the box. Check within yourself. Does it look like Igbo people are the problem of Nigeria? Does it look like that? Because, few people nowadays have come out to call out Igbo people, that Igbo people are this, Igbo people are that. Anybody that want to be famous, trend, or want to go viral on social media, because they cash out from social media nowadays. So because of that, anybody that want to go viral, we want something that's a propaganda, a kind of propaganda that they will carry online that will make you know, loss of engagement, loss of followers, you know. So few people have come out on the internet nowadays to demarcate the Igbo people, a whole tribe. So Nigeria is made up of 3 major tribes. We have different tribes in Nigeria, a lot of them. So, but we have 3 major ones, three major ones. And that 3 major ones are Igbo tribe, which is southeastern part of Nigeria. Yoruba tribe, which is situated at the western part of Nigeria. Then the Hausa tribe, located at the northern part of Nigeria. So these are the 3 major tribes that we have. We also have the middle belt. All right? So the middle belt, we also have middle belt. You know, but recently, few people, reason best known to them, have come out on the internet to gain cheap popularity. You know what they call cheap popularity? Spew lies against a particular tribe in order to gain followership, in order to gain engagement, in order to gain, you know, people, maybe political recognition. Like in the case of this pastor, this fake pastor we are going to talk about. You know, I think my mind said, I think he's doing his own for political gain. You know, because I don't think that this is the word, the way Jesus, when Jesus was here in the world, I don't think this is how he carried out his preaching or how he carried out his work, Christianity and all that. So, but this pastor came out and started talking about Igbo people. If you go through his preaching, so-called preaching, you will hear when he said, Obi, 1 million Obi will not rule Nigeria. That Igbos are desperate to rule Nigeria. Igbos are desperate. Igbos are desperate to rule Nigeria. And they are not going to rule Nigeria. That Igbos are according to him, we are quoting him. So, you guys check it by yourself. You know, the judge, the masses are the judge. From what you see and from what is going on in the country, since inception of Nigeria, Igbo man have not ruled, except that of the Azikiwe. You know, so, which he was a ceremonial president. Everybody knows about that. You know, since after the war, Igbos have not ruled Nigeria, have not even become top. You know, they can maybe vice president, few tenure and all that. You know, but lately they have made it compulsory, according to what this fake pastor, this man said, that Igbo people are desperate to rule Nigeria. They are the problem of Nigeria and they will never rule Nigeria. Not only this man, few of them have said the same thing, which we all can attest, all right? And tomorrow, you people will come out and be saying, Igbo people are saying this, Igbo people are, you know, talking like this, talking like that, saying this, saying that. Who, tell me, you that is watching, if you are an Igbo and another tribe, we have 3 major tribes, another tribe just came out and start demarketing your tribe for no unprovoked, for no just cause, you know, without any facts on the ground. Can he just pinpoint one thing now that he will say, oh, when Igbo people was ruling the country, this is how the country, you know, was this and that, or this country was not doing well, or this country, you know, things were not good, things were, you know, going on in a wrong way, or things were not, the economy was this or the economy was that. Nobody will come out, because is it not when you rule the country, then they will know how your own leadership will look like. Igbo people have not even become president. Apart from Azikiwe, Igbo people have not even ruled the country, you know. So tell me that thing that made this man now to do this, have his fake prophecy that Igbo people are the problem of the country, and your brother is the president. When he finish, he hand over to your neighbor, the Hausa Fulani people. He will hand over to Hausa Fulani. When Hausa Fulani finish, they will hand over to you, to your tribe, the Yoruba tribe. Then when Yoruba finish, you will hand over back. If not that 2014 or so, when Jonathan and Umaru Yaradua, because Umaru passed, then Jonathan was able to take over. It was a coincidence, you know. So now only 2 tribes have been ruling the country, and look at how the country look like. The way Nigeria is looking, when the Yoruba and the Hausa Fulani, because I know why I say Hausa Fulani, because it's the Fulani people that are the rulers in the north. If you say Hausa, while the person ruling in the north is the Fulani, you know, Fulani ethnic, Fulani tribe. So that is now raising different questions. What do you people want from Igbo people? What do you people want from them? Why are you people this envious of them? Why? You know, because you can't call out somebody that did not do anything to you unprovoked. You know, unprovoked. You just want to trend. If anybody want to trend, next thing you will see, Igbo people are not good people. Igbo people are the problem of the country. Igbo people are this. Igbo people are that. And Igbo people say, Pharaoh, leave me alone. Let my people go. You say you will not leave them alone, and you will not love them. Why are you like this? Why? Pharaoh, let me be. If you don't like me, if anybody don't like you, what will you do? You distance the person. You don't like the Igbo people. You still want to keep them. Two things at the same time. You know? This is somebody being double standard. You don't like somebody. Okay, let the person be. Do everything it will take to let the person go. Let the person be, and you will be in peace. And that person will go in peace. Whatever he or she sees after he or she left, after they left, is none of your business. If they can govern themselves, it's none of your business. If they can't govern themselves, it's none of your business. The only thing is, you don't like them, you don't like them. Then allow them be. You can't stop somebody from breathing, okay? You can't stop anybody from living on this earth, because you are not the one that brought the person. Look at somebody that said he's a pastor, and from your mouth you are saying that Igbo people are cursed. You are placing a curse on your head and your generation. You are placing a curse on your head and your generation. That is the meaning. All right? Because you cannot place a curse on somebody who did not provoke you. Somebody who did not cause any harm on you. Somebody who did not look for trouble from you. An innocent tribe that is hustling on their own, doing their legitimate businesses. You know? Doing their legitimate businesses, expanding themselves. You know, improving their lives, both home and abroad. And now you are envious of them. And now you are crying. You are not happy because of their progress. Their successes is what is intimidating you. You know, Igbo's successes, Igbo's businesses, Igbo's way of life, their culture. You can see they have the best culture on this earth. You know, go and do your own. All those things you see Igbo people doing and you don't like them, you can as well do it. You can as well do it. You know, but don't don't quarrel them and don't fight with them. It is not good. You say you're a man of God, and in the presence of God, you are spewing lies against a whole ethnic group, an entire ethnic group. It's easy for you to just come out and say Igbos this, Igbos that, Igbos cannot this, Igbos cannot that. Man, and claiming to be a man of God. Somebody is claiming to be a man of God here. And some people, some Igbos, even some Nigerians, whether you are Igbo or not, and you are in the church where a pastor is preaching this kind of hate, and you are there, you are still sitting down on the chair. You sat down there and listening, and you are listening to this kind of preaching, and tomorrow you will say you are a Christian. You know, is it not pagans are better than some of them? We know that, oh, these ones are pagan. But if you call yourself a true Christian, a pastor, an acclaimed pastor, is preaching this kind of hate in front of you and in front of children, in front of everybody. An acclaimed pastor is preaching this, and you are there, you sat down, you are listening to this kind of hate. You know, any good Christian watching this kind of hate from a supposed man of God will just stand up, carry your bag, and walk away, because this is no longer the preaching of Jesus Christ, what we were taught in the Bible. Okay? Jesus never called out any tribe and started spewing hate against any tribe. You know, when you call yourself a pastor and this is what you are giving, you claim to be a pastor and this is what you are giving to the populace. You know, even children are there watching. Even children are there. You are passing this kind of information to next generation. And tomorrow you will still say Igbos are the problem. Hey. Hey. I want to ask these pastors few questions. Are Igbos the president of Nigeria? How many times have Igbos become president of Nigeria? How many times have Igbos become the Senate President of Nigeria? How many times have Igbos become the Secretary General of Nigeria? How many times have Igbos become the Defense Minister in Nigeria? How many times? All those key positions. How many times have Igbos become any of those? It is you and your people. It is you and your Hausa Fulani. When you finish, you hand over to them. It is these two tribes that have been ruling Nigeria. And yet you are crying foul. You are crying foul. Your brother is already on seat too. He has not finished first tenure. And now you are calling Igbo people are the problem of you. Your problem. You know? How on earth is Igbo people your problem? How? Are they the people that make the law? Eh? Are they people that are even the minority, right? You people have made them the minority in Nigeria. A whole major ethnic group. You have made them minority because already the other states have 7 states. Some have 6. But Igbos are 5. And you like it like that, oh. That is your patriotism. That is your equality. The definition of equality in Nigeria is when the creation of states, you created 5 states for Igbo land, you created 6 states for other places, and you created 7 states in the north. So this is equality. And when they want to share allocation, they will share it according to states. And now you already reduce the share for the Igbo people from beginning. And this is your patriotism. This is your reality. This is your patriotism. This is how Igbo people are the problem of Nigeria. This is one example, just one example. One example is that you created states. You created states and gave Igbo people only 5 states in Nigeria. And allocations are shared equal according to federal character. Allocations are shared equal among these states in these 3 major tribes. You gave them 5 states. You gave the other people 7 states. You gave the other people 60 states. Only Igbo people have 5 states in Nigeria. The whole world, though, we want people because we have been so silent all along. We are not interested in their businesses, in what they do, in their leadership, in what they do. We are strong people. We hustle and to make ends meet. After all, after the war, when the war broke, and at the end of the war, they only gave any Igbo man that have millions of dollars, millions of pounds, millions of naira in the bank. They only gave them 20 pounds only. If you like have 10 million trillion dollars, they will only give you 20 pounds. Yet Igbo people were able to survive it, and were able to overcome, and were able to grow. Yet you can't let them be. You know, tomorrow you will still say Igbo people are your problem. How on earth are Igbo people your problem? How on earth? How on earth? Because you gave them 20 pounds after the war, no matter how much they have in the bank. No matter how much they have in the banks, you only gave them 20 pounds. Is that why the Igbo people are the problem of Nigeria? Because you carry your pipe, there is no oil in other parts of the other regions, other tribes, no oil. Even if there is, it's just little minimal quantity. You carry pipe all the way from Lagos to southeast and south. You carry your pipe, go there, bury pipe there, and move pipe all the way from southeast, south to Lagos, and that is where you build the functional refinery. Even the refinery in Port Harcourt, it is not even functioning. There is just a what do I call it? Just it's just there, you know. Camouflage. It's just there, just to say, there is one refinery in Port Harcourt. But is it working? Are they clearing goods there? Are they clearing goods there? If they are clearing goods, share your thoughts and show us example on the comment section. Why they remove Ambode was because Ambode said he will try to, that Lagos is so jam-packed. Lagos is overpopulated. He feel that because Lagos is the only place they have port, Nigerian Port Authority, functional one, that he's going to decentralize it. He's going to make other ports, seaports. He's going to make them. It's good to make other seaports working, so that will decongest Lagos. They say, hey, this man has said an abomination. This man has said what a human being are not supposed to hear with their 2 ears. And what human being not supposed to see with their 2 naked eyes. Okay, who said that? No. Who does that? No, because of that, Ambode must be removed. All of them, they follow the man up and down until they remove. The man did not come second term because he gave suggestion. He thought he was talking to people. He don't know that he's talking to bigotry. You know, at the end, Ambode did not assume second position because he wanted everything to be equal. He wanted equality to reign in Nigeria. They will never subscribe to that. They will never buy that kind of idea because they are selfish. Everybody is paying taxpayers, same thing everywhere. But when the dividends come, you will not decide who will take the lion's share. And when Igbo people talk, you will say, oh, they are the problem of Nigeria. Okay, Igbo people say, okay, if you want to say we are the problem of Nigeria, let us go. Pharaoh, let my people go. You say, no, even though we are marginalizing you people, even though we gave you 5 states instead of 6 and 7 others have, even though they are not even looking at southeastern state, all the roads there dilapidated, nothing is even moving there. Anything you see in Igbo land, Igbo people develop themselves by their place by themselves because they hustle and make money and invest and develop their place by themselves. You know, government presence is not seen in the southeast. Government presence is not seen. If it's seen, it's just minimal. Unlike how we see it other region, other side. You know, government presence is not seen as it used to be in other places. You know, and you will still want them not to talk, not to speak. If they speak, they have, okay, Igbo people now become the problem of Nigeria. When you don't have oil in your place and you come to Igbo land and you connect the pipe all the way to your place, and that is where you build the refinery. Now when it comes to the dividends of the oil, the things that come from the oil, if you want to now share it, you will not share it. Even at least share it equal. We say share it equal. We are not saying give the southeast the lion's share. No, we say share everything according to federal character. Even though you have already from beginning, you know, reduced their own quota by giving them just 5 states. You know, from beginning they have already reduced the number. And yet, after reducing the number, even the 5 states again, give them what you give to others. You will still be, you know, playing politics in everything. When something happened to an indigene of Southeast, and the same thing happened to indigene of North or indigene of Southwest, the law look like, you know, it looks like it's different. It looks like there are different laws guiding Nigeria. We already know that, oh, northern side, they have 2 laws guiding that side, Sharia and Nigeria law. Assuming it is from Igbo people that have 2 laws guiding them, will Nigeria allow it to fly? Let's say the truth. Will they allow it to fly? That the Southeastern people come up one day and say, oh, the law guiding Nigeria, we have to have our own law. Will they allow it to fly? But if fly, the thing is happening in the North. North have 2 laws guiding them. They have Sharia law and they have regular Nigerian law. They try people on Sharia, even Christians that are not Islam, that are not Muslims. They also try them with Sharia law. And Nigerians are watching. Like one Igbo man on social media, that they use Sharia law to auction his shop. They use Sharia law to auction his shop there in the North. What did Nigeria government do? What did they do you know, to save that man? Nothing. The man was crying everywhere that he's not a Muslim. Why would they use Sharia law to collect his shop? He owned that shop. He built that shop from scratch. You know? Let's try to be free and fair. That is the only thing that will help in this country. Except otherwise, you guys can share your opinion on the comment section. If what is going on in Nigeria, now if really Igbo people are the problem, please help us share your thoughts on the comment section, because you will learn every day. Okay? You know, this man also said that even how many people that will not rule Nigeria. My people, what is really going on? Are they threatened by Obi's antecedents, Obi's integrity? Which way, Nigeria? Which way, Nigeria? Which way, my people? Which way? Just leave Igbo people alone. I beg. You people are the people in government. You have all the things, all it takes. You are in government. You have all the posts. Igbo people are just there looking at your people. You know? Make laws now that will benefit Nigerians. You people have all the positions. Make laws that will save Nigeria. That will, you know. You say, Boko boys are not the problem of Nigeria, be? This pastor, this self-acclaimed pastor. So you mean that Boko is no longer the problem of Nigeria. ISWAP is no longer the problem of Nigeria. So all those people that give Nigeria sleepless night is okay because you people have done they have deal. You recently have deal with those people. You recently had deal, because I heard when they said you guys and those terrorists, you guys had deal with them. And during Buhari's regime, Buhari released 9,100 Boko Haram people. You know, Buhari said they have repented, and then he released 9,100 Boko boys. He released them, claiming that they have repented. That was the reason he released them, and then he put them back to the society. And also some even entered into the military. You know? So people are causing problem in Nigeria and everybody is seeing it. But you choose not to look at this side where the problem is coming from. So you choose to, you know, marginalize those people that you have already marginalized from inception. You want to marginalize them the more. We have to remember that everything everybody do on this earth, the record is there waiting for you. If you do good, your record is there. People do that. I know they stop history in the school, maybe because of this kind of people, so that people will not read history on their own to know where the problem is emanated from. But yet, trust this Gen Z generation. Trust them now. Trust this Gen Z generation. Before you do like this, they have already reached where you thought that they cannot reach. They already have all the history on their palm. So this one you people are covering now. That one is medicine after pie. You understand? Yeah. You think maybe they thought that this generation, they don't know the history because they remove history from curriculum. They thought that the generation will not read, they will not know. No, they are even curious to know. You know, when you deny somebody something, the person will be curious to know more about and why. What is the reason why you remove upon everything? You remove the history that will teach them how the country, come about. The origin of everything. You remove history. In your mind, you think that you are smart. You know, you are not, oh. Because this generation, they are smarter than you and smarter than, put how many of you together. One Gen Z generation is smarter than you. If you think that you can swim and nobody will see your back, na lie. They are seeing you. They have the history on their palm. Is it not this IT generation, this AI generation, that everything is just a twinkle, 2 seconds, they will just, everything will just be on their face, glaring. How can you hide? You think you can hide? Not true. Maybe that's what their mind is telling them, that when they remove history from the school curriculum, these children of nowadays will not know the history, so that like that they can lie their way out. Now lie. Those children you are talking about, they are faster than you. This generation of nowadays, I beg, don't joke with them. Oh. If you like, put your history. If you like, don't put your history. They already have it on their palm. They know the truth, and that's why you can see Nigeria, this generation, they don't tally with the all this ngwongwo leadership you people are doing. You know, all this ngwongwo leadership that they are doing here, this generation they don't subscribe to it, and that's why you see them every time they are trying to protest, and you people will not allow them. You know, when they try to protest, to air their view, your people, you know, allegedly will even open live pie and pie how many way you want to pie. You know, suppressing their own opinion, suppressing their thoughts, their mind, not allowing people to air their view. You think that is how the country will move forward. So when you do all those things, you still come and blame, unprovoked, you still come and blame innocent people. They are the problem of your... Why are they the problem? They don't depend on your oil. Even though oil is from their place, and you tap the oil and you are drinking the oil, and you are the one that shares it. Give who you want to give and who you don't want to give. They say, oh, we don't depend, even the oil itself, you can take the oil. They are strong people, they are, you know, intelligent people, you know. They can hustle their way and make whatever they want to make in life and still live a good life, more than you that is drinking the oil. You see? Yet, you don't want to let them be. See what a man of God is saying with his mouth. You know? And yet, people will go to that kind of church and you'll be worshiping, wasting your time there, thinking that you are talking to God. Eh? They say, by their fruit we shall know them. You can see what that man can deliver. And you are there wasting your precious time. You know? They know they buy God bribe. Oh. You people can buy bribe everywhere, do your propaganda everywhere. But you see this God, this living God we are serving, they know they buy him bribe. They know they buy him bribe. So all what I'm saying is, no matter how you try to cover the moon, it will still shine. Even if you cover the sun will still shine. You can't cover the sun and say, oh, I want to use my two hands, two palms to cover the sun or the moon from shining. You know it's impossible. So Igbo people are like the moon and the sunshine. All right? Igbo people are the moon and the sunshine. So it is something you cannot do to cover the moon from shining or covering the sun from shining. It is impossible. You understand? You can carry your propaganda, say whatever you want to say. That one is up to you. But the truth is there looking at you. And deep down inside you saying all those, you already know the truth. You don't need to be told. So, this is part one. Because I still have a lot to reply this man of God. So we will still see, because I don't want this video to be so long. We will see again in the next video. Thank you all for watching. For now, I remain your one and only African Lioness TV. Do share the video, like and share it, and also share your own thoughts on the comment section. All right? Yes, let's make this video go viral so that it will get to them, because some of them are not informed. So that when they watch the video, they will now make more research and then be informed. You understand? So thank you all for watching. See you guys in the next one. Bye for now.